Dave Snyder here. It is the 8th day of September 2013. Unfortunately, the weather here on Google Earth is from the 31st of August and hasn't changed whatsoever except for the radar. The radar's up to date, but the clouds again, because, I mean, you see this right here, you see what the weather's showing right here. How often do you see a big circular pattern like this right here in the Pacific? And how often do you see that? They shut down the weather satellites on this program, or the clouds, at least the clouds anyways. They shut it down when it starts to show this stuff. I mean, I'm not bullshitting you people. I've been doing this for a little over 3 years now, and I'm telling you, they shut it down. As soon as they start seeing these things on Google Earth will cut it off, because they know that this program, you can do overlays with this program. And I know they know what I've been looking at. I know they because you can see my screen flash every once in a while. They're definitely checking on what I'm looking at. I know they are. They're taking screenshots of the program all the time. I mean, I never used to get those flashes, and the first time I ever seen them was on Dutch Sens's channel when he used to make videos, and I would see those little his screen flash all the time. They were taking screenshots of his screen too. That's what made, and then all of a sudden it started happening to me too. You know, so I know they're looking at that. Anyways, that's why they keep changing things and making it harder to see these. So you better start looking now. Anyways, this pattern right here up there in North Pacific here, is the location that I finally found the right area for the Imbrium impact. Right, and this may not be right over this spot. It may be off to the side a little bit from where it actually happened, but. Anyways, I had to save this image because I can't do an overlay very good up this high towards the pole. This program does not allow that, because most of the impacts take place at the pole, so they don't allow you to put a picture over the pole or the south pole either. So I mean, I've explained that a whole bunch of times. But anyways, so I saved that image, brought it down lower towards the equator, and overlaid it right over here somewhere. Maybe not that one. This one. Okay, so what I did is I took a picture of the moon reversed, flipped over, and overlaid right here over this pattern of Imbrium right here. Okay, and what I basically lined up was this right here. You see this area here, and I lined that up with this opening in the weather here. You see this opening in the weather. Once I lined that up, you can see the rest of the picture just kind of fall into place pretty much. You see how this comes to a point right here and then comes back this way. You can see that point in the weather right in place. Okay, and it's the right, you can see the circles just right. Puts Copernicus right here, and you see that big opening right there. There's a big opening in the weather. I mean, that's the weather's kind of, you know, it doesn't always, people always think, well, how come it doesn't show that? You know, it just because they don't show that, or the weather's just not showing it. You know what I mean? But it shows you enough all the time. All the time. If people would just pay attention to the lunar shapes, to the shapes of the lunar craters, I'm telling you, there's not. This is one impact on the moon. It's over a third the size of the moon. This crater is. It's over 1/3 the radius or whatever, the diameter of the moon. So it's huge. They always say if the moon hit the Earth at the size they say it is, then it would destroy the Earth. At 1/4 of the size of the Earth, it would destroy the Earth. But something 1/3 the size of the moon hit. I mean, the Earth hit the moon. Okay, basically the Earth hit the moon. The moon's bigger than the Earth, or right around the same size actually of the Earth. Pretty close to the same size. Just a little bigger, I think, in my opinion. But anyways, how do we confirm this being the right place, right? How do we confirm that? Well, what I did is I took this picture right here, this little area right here, and I saved it. And I brought that up there. I could do a small overlay here, so I overlaid that here. I think it's right here, and it just happened to fit there pretty good. You know, you got that little spot in Alaska where that crater is right there. You see how it kind of has that spot right there where it curves up. It fits there pretty good. You can see how it probably goes there. Okay, so that's one. That's not much, but it's one. Okay, And what I did is I took that same picture of the weather, and then I went to the moon with that. And I flipped it over so that if you're going to overlay it on the moon, you have to flip it over. So I did that, and I overlaid it on the moon right here. One second. Right here. Okay, so I lined up that area, that clearing right there, with that area of the moon right there. See that? Now, Copernicus is a little bit off from where it was in the other picture. It's still in the same area down here below, but you got the curve here coming to a point right there. See that? Here, let me zoom in a little bit better. See this curve in the weather right there, the clouds right there. See that curve? You can see that same curve right here. Okay, it comes to a point, and you see this area, the clearing right there in the weather. See that? Then, if you look at over here, you got this big patch of clouds right there. Where's that? What's that right there? Probably that crater right there. This crater has this point right here. It comes to the point, right? And it just happens to fall right into place with the same curves and shape. See that? It has the same curves and shape to it right here. I'm sure this isn't the right. It's in the right spot. I know the rest of it is not in there, but it's just not in there. That's all there is to it. It's just not there. But it will be. I'm sure it'll show something else later. But that goes right there. I'm sure that's Imbrium right there. Too many things line up. I mean, I know it's just weather, people, but I'm telling you, the weather shows you more than you think. Okay, then I'm going to show you another one right now that shows that. Shows you something important here. Okay, so first I want you to take a look at my desktop and the Vatican globe. Most of us have seen this, I'm sure. Okay, you see how it's got like this, it's not necessarily another planet hitting a planet, or the moon hitting the Earth or anything like that. It kind of looks like it could be like the inner core, or the next layer of the Earth, the mantle. This is the crust, and it kind of drops off, and then goes down to the next layer. Just imagine it like that, if you would. Okay, because what I'm going to show you next is a picture this was in the Atlantic Ocean. I don't know, back in May. I saved this picture back in May. And I tried to make a video about it at the time, but it just didn't turn out. And I'll show you here. What was it? Hold on. I guess I've done a few things since then. There it is. Okay, so right here, you see this area right here? This is the weather in the Atlantic Ocean, right there. See that big volcano in the mid-Atlantic ridge right there? Okay, it centers right over that. And you can see I got out. This is Africa that was saved in the picture, and it's really close to where Africa. You see, it's pretty close to where Africa is on the globe. Close enough. Anyways, I was just you look at this, and you see this big round, like the next layer of the Earth right there, the mantle with these walls. It's like three-dimensional. The weather's showing you like the ocean floor right here. Absolutely is. I know it doesn't. How could the weather show you the shape of the ocean floor, right? Weather shows you the shape of the land. It's certainly going to show you the shape of the ocean floor if there's any kind of depth. Temperatures change with depth. It's going to show you. The clouds are capable of showing you the shape of the ocean floor. Trust me. They show you the shape of the moon all the time. So I know this is true. So anyways, that kind of looks like that picture to me. And then what I did is I brought up an overlay that I did a long time ago. I actually brought this picture down from way up my list. I did this a long time ago. This picture of Mare Oriental right over this. It was already in this spot. I didn't put it up. I didn't line it up to the crater. I just brought it up from the past. And then you look at this, and you can see the claw print of mistakes is right here. This is the claw print of mistakes that creates Japan, creates the East Coast, or the Eastern Australia, the Himalayas, just about every rocky areas of the Rocky Mountains and everything else. See the curve right here? See that curve? That's the edge of the claw print of mistakes right there that you see on that crater on the moon. Right? And it comes over this way, and it comes down to this point right here. Kind of comes to a point. You see the same thing right there in the weather. See that? And you see this round area up here. You can see that in the weather. Then, if I take this away and just bring up the, not live weather because it hasn't been updated since the 31st of August, but this weather right here is the most up to date that they have on here right now. So at least the radar's showing something there today. So here you go. There's, see the weather, how it fits in this little area right here, real good. I mean, this is the weather what we get right now. I mean, it's what most up to date, but it goes. You usually see this fit really good. There it is right there. You see the curve and you see this right here. That's all I need really. And I know that there's areas of the moon that are shaped actually by the same part of the Earth. They do look a little different, but they do share similarities. The impact craters, like Imbrium, probably shares similarities with this crater here. I'm sure it does. There you go. I mean, the cloud print of mistakes is responsible for a lot of areas of the Earth. Absolutely is. I've showed that in so many of my videos. This is from the claw print of mistakes, right here. See this shape? That's from the claw print of mistakes. That's what the Japanese call it. That's because of this right here. That's the claw print. See it? Japan is the claw print, right? Here's the claw print right here as well. Claw print right here. So you got Tibetan Plateau, the Himalayas, this area here of Australia, Japan, all being shaped by that one area of the moon. This part of this part of the Rocky Mountains right here, shaped by the claw print. Right here, this whole area, basically, shaped by the claw print. I'm sure there's something down here in South America, I think probably right here, in this area where you see this curve. The same. Might be a claw print too, from the Mare Oriental Basin, basically. I've shown that many times. Maybe I should show you this Australia stuff I was working on the other day. Maybe that would be. Yeah, I think I'll just drop it off right there. Imbrium in the weather, right here, and then that. See, they don't show you the. I don't think they show you the actual ocean floor in Google Earth. I don't think they do. I don't think it looks like that. I think it actually looks how I just showed you. Just like this. And another thing, if you look closely at the center of this crater, very closely, it's hard to because they don't give you a very good image, but it does, this area will match the center of this area right here. It does match. You've got to line it up just right, but it does, you can see that in the center if you line it up. It's not right over the top of that right now, just right, but I've had it right over the top of that just perfectly before. And just start putting the pieces of the puzzle together because the moon hits the Earth. I don't know how to get it through some people's heads, but I mean, you better start looking because they're making it harder to see all the time. The way they change Google Earth, they change it all the time to make it harder to see this stuff. No kidding. No kidding. I got another realignment of the South Africa too, Zimbabwe there somewhere, but I'll show that later. All right, everybody have a good weekend.